Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Look, if it's your first time here, hi and welcome. Now my name is Jill Lancet. Anything can happen on one of these videos, and just to prove it, something generally does. But yeah, I've been thinking about Valentine's Day. Not that I send gushy cards or anything like that for Valentine's Day, but I know some of you guys do. And, you know, my job is to inspire you to make some cards. So I have a project sheet for this card. I have it here. It's not finished yet, but yeah, we're going to make this Valentine's Day card, and I guess we'll get straight to it. Hey, now you will need your trimmer for this. I saw these little envelopes on YouTube, but they sort of only gave you one measurement, and it was this, that, and it was made out of thin paper. So I wanted to make them out of cardstock because I wanted to stamp on them. And so I've had to create this. Okay, so here is the project sheet. I'll go through all the things that we have that we're going to need. I have a card base here. It's a standard card base. Guys, if you don't have my matte templates, and if I could find them right at this point in time, here they are. If you don't have these, please request them to my email, tilly2145@gmail.com. They're free. I'll just send you the PDF. You print it out. I laminate mine because it's a little bit harder to lose. It's a bit sturdier. It has metric sizes and US letter sizes. They're different. I do have a video. If you request these, I generally send the video as well, the link to the video, so you can see how these work. But we're going to use a normal card base. We're going to use a piece of real red. I've already had a practice run on the back of it. I don't want to spoil that for you. That is in mat 1. So in Australia, your card base, once it's folded, will be 10.5 by 14.85. Mat 1 is 10 by 14.3 centimetres. In the US, your card base is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and your mat 1 is 4 by 5 1/4. Easy peasy. That thing is so handy, and I did actually cut some up. Can't find those either. Not surprisingly, if you could see this desk. So we have our card base, we have our piece of real red. I have my envelope, of course. I've got three pieces of basic white, and they are 3 inches by 3 inches square. Now you can only see 2 there because I've already done 1. We also need 2 small panels of basic white, and these are the letters that are going to go into the envelopes, and they are 2 1/8 by 1 5/8 inches. Now it's all in inches because the original was 3 inches, and then I had to sit down and work out how to make this so easy for you, I hope. We've also got a bit of a scrap of basic white, and we'll get to that in a minute. The stamp sets that I'm using, which I will add to the bottom of this, I just haven't got there yet. Delicate framing, addressed to you, fabulous sayings, and the die from Hope, Love and Joy, the die set. Okay, now I've got some sad news. I just lost the small die. Guys, I had it on a piece of sticky tape on my finger, and I went to put it back in there, and I went, where did it go? I searched everywhere. I was going crazy. I found it. It's a tiny little die. tiny little die. I found it, I picked it up, opened this up and dropped it. And I heard it fall. And I have had magnets under there. I've swept all under. It has disappeared. Clearly there's a black hole just under my desk. Honestly, it's living its best life with all the other things I've lost. So anyway, we've got all that. It's all on here, okay? Basic card base, basic white card base. See the matte templates for the measurements. One real red panel, matte 1. Again, see the matte templates. 3 basic white squares, 3 inches by 3 inches. 2 basic white panels, which are the letters that are going to go inside. They're 2 1/8 inch by 1 5/8 inch, and then some scrap. Okay, so we'll get going. I'm going to leave this here handy. Now, I've already made one of the envelopes. I didn't think you'd want to sit through 3, but you might want to sit through 2 just to see how they were made, okay? So just bear with me while I pop all of the stuff out of the way except for the things that I need, okay? Right. So the first thing I did, and it's on here. Oh, they're not the things I want. These are the things I want. I want the 3 by 3 inch panels. What I did was, I hope you can see that, look. At this measurement, 7/8 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch, I put my ruler down and I've just drawn a pencil line. I've made sure it's gone through 7/8 of an inch there, and then I've met it up down here to 7/8 of an inch. Now, it doesn't matter where I put this on my trimmer. I've got that. That will rub out. It's pencil. It'll just rub out later, or you can wipe it off. But for this, yeah, I think that's probably the best thing to do at this point in time, because the instructions actually are based. The first step is based on that line. So I'm going to show you here. Now, if you turn your cardstock into the diamond, we have got compass points, north, south, east, and west. Okay? This is very important. It is in the instructions, and I'm going to show you. This is easy, but it was complicated putting it together. But once you've got this and you've made that pencil line, you will be able to make these, okay? So what you need to do is to position north point and south point on that pencil line, okay? So I've got my pencil line. Look, I'll do it in the middle, okay? So they're both on that pencil line. Now, west, which is on this side, should be on 3. There's my 3 measurement. I hope you can see that. I'm going to move that up a little bit, okay? North and south are on my pencil line. You can see that, right? North and south are on my pencil line. You may not be able to see the pencil line, but it's there. This is west. It is on the 3-inch mark. This is east, and it is on the 1 1/4 mark, okay? Now I'm going to score that. Now that is the only time you need the pencil line. So it's not hard. I'll just run it through again. North and south are on the pencil line. West is on 3-inch mark. East is on 1 1/2 inch mark. And I'm talking about the marks either side, the measurements either side of the track, okay? So now I'm going to pop that down and score that. Now this is cardstock, okay? So I've scored that, and I'm now going to fold it and burnish it. Now, if I show you this again, north and south, east and west. East is the one we just scored. The point went to 1¼ inches. I've scored it, I've folded it, I've burnished it. Now I'm going to turn it so that that fold is at the top. Okay? Oh, there's a fly in here now. Just to annoy me. Go away. Hoi. So the fold and score and fold that I just made is now across the top. I'm going to line the point, which is now south. I'm going to line that up. So that's north, that's east, this is south. I'm going to line that up on the 1 inch mark. Now if you can see that there, 1 inch, I'm lining the point up to 1 inch. And yeah, there's a bit of a fold over there. Don't worry about that. Now we're going to score that again. Now all of this is in these instructions. So we've marked our pencil mark, we've put north, south, we've scored down on that side, and we've folded it and burnished it, put it up there, and we've put this, which is south point, we've put that on the 1 inch mark. Place the fold along the top of the trimmer so point south is positioned on the 1 inch measurement, score straight down. So now we're going to open that up, we're going to turn this, and we're going to fold that and score it. Okay, now look, if it helps you, I'm going to put, I won't put north because that's our envelope flap, but that was north, this was south, this is east, and this is west. Okay, so what we've done is we've put north and south on the pencil line, we've scored it, east is on 1¼ inches over there, we've scored it, folded that, put that up there like that. South is now on 1 inch. South is on 1 inch. We've scored it, going to open it up, fold that and burnish it. Now I'm turning it and I'm putting south. Remember, this is south. I'm putting south up there, and I want this on 1¼ So every second turn will be a different measurement to the previous one. So I'm going to score that, open that out. That is west. And I'm going to burnish that. And then I'm going to make another one. So if I've made this really confusing, hopefully you'll get it on the next one. So there's the one we just did. There's the one we just did. It's west, but it's upside down now, so it looks like M. So we're going to fold that, pop that up against there, and this is going to go on 1 inch. So 1 inch there, 1 inch there, 1¼ 1¼ So the two measurements that are the same are opposite one another diagonally. So we're going to make sure that's straight and burnish that. Now, oh, east is actually our envelope flap, so I shouldn't have put east on there. But look, don't worry, I'm gonna erase that. Hold your horses, honey. Done. Okay, so we've got north, south, east and west. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just take our snips and just notch out. I will follow the instructions to the letter on the next one, okay? So I'm just notching those little, where those score lines meet, I'm just notching them out, okay? And then we can pop this together. Now, before we do any of that though, I'll make the second one, and we'll get this sorted. All right, so there's one envelope. There's one envelope. Now we'll get to the finer details of that. I will actually do that again with this other piece. This time I'll follow the instructions to the letter, okay? So I've drawn my line. I'm going to put north. I'm going to put north, south, east, and west, okay? North, south, east, and west. Mark a pencil line straight down your paper trimmer at 7/8 of an inch. Done. Position north point of your 3x3 inch panel on the pencil line and the opposite point south also on the pencil line. Okay, now just to make sure you've got that in the right spot, east is positioned at 1¼ inches. The tip of it is on 1¼ inches. West is on 3 inches from the track. Okay, we're going to hold that down and score that. So the east point is actually over the track. So now we're going to fold that, burnish it, turn that around, put it up against there, and now I've got south facing there, okay? Fold and burnish point east and place the fold along the top of the trimmer. So point south is positioned on the 1 inch measurement. Score straight down. So 1 inch measurement there. Right. I'm going to score it. I'm going to open up east fold, and then fold and burnish the new score on the south point. So I've opened out east, I'm folding that over. Look, it's really, really easy. It's really difficult, guys, to put stuff into words. Now I'm doing the same thing. With that folded south piece, I'm going to pop this up here, and I'm putting west at 1¼ inches. It's up there, it's on the 1¼ inch. That straight fold is up against the top. I'm going to open this out, fold this in and burnish it, and do exactly the same thing. Now my north point is on this side and it needs to be on 1 inch. So that's up against there. I'm going to score that, open that out, fold that and score it. Okay, now I'm going to just notch out all of the corners, the little corners that are there. You'll see where the score lines intersect. And I'm just going on this side of the score line at a bit of an angle. And only takes a minute, guys. Yeah. And the last one. Now, we'll get to where we're going, okay? Now, if you have marked them, now is a good time to rub it. You only need to rub out east, okay? So just erase that, and we've got our 2 envelopes here. Now, to make them up, first of all, you want to do some stamping. So we know east is the flap, okay? We know east is the flap. So the first little bit of stamping I want to do is, and I've got all these bits and pieces here, okay? I have a little tiny heart. Oh, crikey. What was that out of? That was out of an older stamp. But look, I made a die from a stamp from the die that was in that set, that Joy to the World, and then I lost it. So I've had to find another one. Otherwise I would have used that stamp, okay? I'm devastated. I'm absolutely devastated. But there it is there, okay? But I wanted to use this small one. And when I figure out which set it's from, I'll let you know. Hang on, I think it might have been out of this old... Yeah, it's out of this Hooray for Surprises. It's that little heart there. But if you've got another little heart, or you want to use the one out of there, you can die cut it. You don't have to stamp it. So what I want to do is find East. East is at the top. East is at the top. Now I've got Real Red. And mine's a really old one. Okay. Now let me just tell you. Red makes a mess. Ask me how I know this. Ask me. So I want to ink that up. I'm going to give that a bit of a test run. Good. Now I want to make that the stamp. So I'm putting that up in the top corner. I hope that's straight. And I'm doing it on both of them. And I want the tiny, tiny, tiny word love, which is from, hang on, it is, oh look, I'll write it all. Oh no, it's from this one. Choose Happy. Sorry guys. Choose Happy. That tiny little love. Okay. So I'm just inking that up. Give that a test run. Yep. Okay. And that's going to be like where the address would be on our little envelope. How cute is that? Okay. Oh, I only had to do that on one of them. I only had to do them on this one. I'm getting all confused. Anyway, I've done it, okay? With this one, yeah, we don't do any stamping on those. Crikey, scratch that. Scratch that just for the minute, okay? So now I've got my envelopes together. Where is it? Where is it? So here's the other one that I should have done that on, okay? So here's our envelope. So now this one doesn't have to be done fancy because we're actually going to glue this one down. So you can just put glue all over this one. Okay. Just this one. So we've only stamped one, okay? We've only stamped one. Scratch that. We've only stamped this one, and we're putting all of these together and we're gluing them down flat. This one is going on the card like that. Okay? There's a dirty mark. Why did I use that one? So there's that one. These two, pretend they're totally unstamped, okay? I'm going to show you how I put this together, okay? Now, the first thing I did was, where is it? Goodness me. Here it is. I have this little 1/2-inch circle punch. So the top flap, which we know is E for East, I'm just putting it in from the outside, okay? So rather than putting it in like that, I'm putting it in through there. I'm putting it in as far as it'll go, okay? And I'm just going to punch that, and that is going to round the flap of my envelope. Now we're actually going to put something in these, so we want to be very precise how we're going to do this, okay? So you want to put those two flaps, which is north and south, in. We're going to fold up west, give that all a good burnish, okay? Give it all a good burnish, and then just make a little mark there and a little marker there. Now that's where they meet. And I'm going to take my snips and I'm just going to cut that off straight across. Okay, straight across. Just like that. Now, if there's still any pencil marks, just remove those. And we're going to pop a very thin line of glue down that side and that side. Very, very thin, okay? Now, I have to lay it down because I'm a bit shaky. Seriously? Oh, this is going swimmingly. Now, you don't want too much, okay? You don't want this all oozing out, because if it oozes out, it will glue your envelope shut. So these are the two side flaps. Now, if I turn that over and fold them in, you will see that there is glue just on this part here, and I'm going to fold that flap up. I'm just going to hold that just like that. Now, here's one I made earlier. It's exactly the same. I've glued it all up. I've rounded the corner. Here's our other one that we've actually just glued totally shut. Now, I could have just made this a square piece, but the thing is, you can tell that it's an actual envelope from the side. So when this goes onto our card, yeah, I want that to look like it's an envelope. So these two will be completely blank on this side. Just disregard that. Okay. And we'll just get this going. Okay. Now, heartbreakingly, as I said, I lost the die. But I found this really old punch that I had. So I've punched out 7 hearts. Out of some basic white. Okay, now I want to stamp my little heart again in red. You would ideally die cut these with the die from that set of Hope, Love and Joy, and that is the shape of it. Okay, there isn't a matching stamp to it, but that is the hearts that you would cut out. Okay, I've lost the die. Okay, let's move on. So I'm stamping up this tiny little heart. I'm popping it there like that, and I'm stamping it again, and I'm popping it again over here. Now, I want to cut those out with this 1/2 inch circle punch. Okay, so just center that up and punch that out, and that's going to go with our envelopes. So I'm going to pop them over there and pop that over there. Okay, that's our scrap. That can go now. We're finished with that. The other heart from that Joy, Hope and Love, I did cut out. It has that outline stamp, but I wanted a solid stamp, so I cut out 2 pieces of the fun fold. I've kind of fun foam. Cracky, I'm still saying that. I've glued those together and I've put them temporarily on a block. Okay, so the die, this die, there's the other one. That's not true to size, obviously, because that's the actual size of it. So I've made myself 2 stamps, just like I did in the last video, okay? So we've got that. We've got this one, Disappointed. Don't make me cry. I've got all these other stamps. I've got Happy Mail from the gorgeous Addressed to You set. I've got this beautiful Here for You Always, which comes from the... What does that come from? Oh, I think that comes from the... Look, I'm going to put them all down there, okay? I'm in a flap now. I lost that die and it's really put me right off, guys. That's from the Fabulous Sayings. Okay, are we ready now? Right. I'm going to take my 2 little letters. These are what are going into our envelopes. And I'm going to stamp big hugs and here for you always, okay? I'm going to stamp that in the Memento Tuxedo Black, if I can find that. My goodness me. Right. Guys, I'm having a shocker today. I'm so sorry. If you're new here, please come back to my channel. Please. It's not always like this, I swear. So I'm inking that up, the beautiful Here For You Always. I'm centering that up on my little letter. I'm going to pop that there like that. Look at that. Doesn't matter if it's not perfect. The other one is Big Hugs. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of centering that up on there. Now, with the big hugs, let me get this out of the way for the minute. With the big hugs, I'm going to ink up the big heart stamp that I made. And I'm going to use the Real Red. I'm going to take these instructions out of here now because we've pretty much done the rest of that. Now, I'm inking up my homemade stamp. Okay, I'm inking it up. I'm going to stamp it off. And I'm going to stamp it off again. And then I'm going to stamp it over Big Hugs, right in the middle. Just like that. With the Here For You Always, I'm going to take, I might take the other one, I think. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to have a practice go at that. Gorgeous. And I'm going to put a couple of these just like that. They're going to go into our little envelopes. Now, with my piece of Real Red cardstock, that is matte 1, I am going to stamp Happy Mail. Now, they're 2 separate stamps. I've put those together. They are from this set, Happy Mail. I've just put them together, and I'm just going to ink that up and just randomly stamp that all over the front of this piece of Real Red. And yep, just like that, just randomly, just like that. We might put another one in the middle there, just looked a bit blank. Now I'm going to take this, what else did I do? Let me have a quick look. Oh yeah, then I did Love, the little tiny stamp, Love, and I'm just stamping that randomly as well. I'm turning the cardstock around, and I'm just popping it in wherever I think it should go. And half of this will be covered up. You won't even see half of it, but still, we're going to do it all over. Honestly, guys, I'm all over the shop today. Oh dear, if it's not one thing, it's something else. All right, now I'm going to take the tiny little heart and I'm going to stamp that randomly as well. And we're effectively making our own designer series paper. How gorgeous is that? I didn't have any with hearts on it. So you know what creative bodies do? They go and make their own. Look at that. Hang on, one missing right in the middle there. Okay, now we've done that. I'm putting this away for the minute because, yeah, I'm already in a mess. I'm going to wipe my hands on my chamois. Always have your chamois handy, guys. Especially with red. Reds and black are terrible. Right, now I've done that. I'm going to stamp all of these off and clean them. I just want them out of the way and out of harm's way, if you know what I mean. We might probably use them in a minute, but let's just get them out of the way, hey? And then we can start putting this together. I mean, that is the fun part, isn't it, hey? Yep. Okay. And red ink, it just spreads and spreads and spreads. It literally spreads and spreads. Right, those two are done. Okay, oh, this dangerous little fella here. Hang on, hang on. Right, now, I think I need to clean my hands again. Crikey. Dear, oh dear. Rightio. Okay, let's have a look here. So I've got my piece. I've got my card base. I'm going to fold my card base. And I'm going to glue my matte one piece on there. Now remember I had a trial run at that, so we'll just cover that up. Nobody needs to know. I just wanted to see if it would work and how it looked. There we go. So it's real red on real red cardstock. Crikey, look at that. Look at that. Now, here's all of our little envelopes and letters and things. We've cut out our little hearts. I just cut them out into a little circle. Now, two of these, that's the one I'm going to glue on the front. These two are going to be like that. Okay, so let's have a look here. The first thing I want to do is position these. Crikey. Position them. Yep, position them. So I'm going to have these two going like this, I think. These two going like that, and this one will be in the middle, just like that. That one's going to be glued down. These are going to be popped up. So let's get this one glued in place. Don't forget, this is our closed envelope, okay? That's going like that. Now these two are going to be popped up, or you could just glue. I think I'll just glue them because this is going to be thick enough as it is. What do you think? I think I'll just glue them. Yeah, okay. So I'm just going to glue them. I was thinking about popping them up, but we do have something that's popped up, so yeah, we don't want it to be too thick. So let's just pop that down there like that. There's that one. We'll pop a bit of glue on the back of this. Remember, that was a mistake. I stamped that by mistake. And this one's going to go like that as well. Just so they look a little bit haphazard. And then with these two little hearts, I want to get some little mini, where's my little minis? Here they are. I want to put a little mini dimensional on the actual envelope. Now I'm going to close the flap and I'm going to put that as close to the flap as I can, so it's not impeding anything. I'm going to put another one on this one here. Okay. Just as close to the flap as I can get it. And then we're going to pop that on there. But first I want to pop this message in here. And this message in here. And then I'm going to take the backing off that one. I'm going to close the envelope. And I'm going to put that on there like that. Just like a seal. And that's going to hold that closed. That's good, isn't it? What do you think? What do you think about that? So we'll take this other one, we'll close that, we'll pop that on there like that. And you can get the envelopes open and you can see that cute little letter inside. Now, the other thing I wanted to do was take these little hearts. Remember, they're not these, they're the others. And I've cut out, I think I cut out about 7 of them. And I'm just going to glue these down randomly, okay? Let me just pick them up one at a time. Oh, crikey. So just a bit of glue, and I think, oh, I think just one like that. Look, just do them how you feel they should go, okay? Let's just pop a bit of glue on this one here. Just like that. I'm just going to have them cascading down the side of the card. So there's 7, there's 3. Now don't forget, this is not the original shape of these, but you know, you know. Look, I reckon I could probably do that, and I'd probably end up in a bloody big mess. Just trying to do it quickly. Okay, so that one's going to go like that. They don't have to be all exactly the same, but you know. And we've got this one last one, and we'll pop it down here like that. Now you can actually have him going off the edge of the card if you wanted to. And inside we've got to stamp our gorgeous, gorgeous sending love. Where is the red ink pad that I closed and put safely out of the way? You know what? I'd love to find out if there was a patron saint. Oh, well, there is Saint Anthony. There he is, look. He works every time. Thank you, Saint Anthony. Thank you. Right, putting that there, putting that there. I was going to say lost stamps, but Saint Anthony covers everything, so. Okay, I'm going to ink that up. I'm going to give that a bit of a test run. Oh. And I'm doing it red. Possibly should have done it black, but what the heck, hey? Now you can put more little hearts around that. Where's my tiny little one? couple up there like that. Maybe one down there like that. Where's our other one that we made? Oops, I just stuck my finger in the red ink. Crikey. Dear, oh dear. I'm having a shocker, guys. I literally am having a shocker. So we'll pop that there like that. Pop this one down here like that. And we might get this one out again and put it down there like that. There you go. What do you think? And there's little secret messages in there. Little secret messages. They can pull that out. If you wanted to put a little bit of a ribbon on there, love. Sending love. And you know what else I got out? I dragged these out from my retired stash. Got these a couple of years ago, but again, guys, like, there's so many of them. It's not funny. That I'll have these till the end of time. And I've just got a couple of, there's red sequins. There's actually white little dots in here as well, like little white dots. So I just thought maybe, you know, we could add some bits and pieces. Just here, there and everywhere. Just to finish it off. Right. Now, where's my take your pick? Oh, right here. Crikey, 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 crikey. So decide what you want. I think I'd like some bling. So I'm going to put these red sequins on here. Look, if you haven't got red sequins, don't worry. But I just thought that might brighten this up. Did I put that round the wrong way? Yes, I did. Good grief. Well, I've got more than 1 million of them, so let's have a look. There's another one. What do you think? Our sparkly Valentine's Day card. We made a homemade stamp. We would have put die cuts on there. Got secret little messages in there. We made the envelopes, and those envelopes you can use not just for Valentine's Day. You can use those for any cards that you want to have a little secret message, or if you just want an envelope on the front or whatever, you know. Keep the instructions and you'll be able to make them time and time again. Hopefully you'll be able to recreate this card. Now I am going to decorate the envelope because I got it out especially to decorate, and I'm going to put the big heart. What? Oh, here it is. You know what? Oh my goodness, I probably should just pack up and call it a day. Where's my scrap? Okay, I've stamped that off. Where's my Happy Mail stamp? Let's have a look. Let's call this Happy Mail. And we'll pop a stamp, pop a heart like that. We'll get our other little hearts. Maybe put a couple around, just like that. And this tiny little one. crikey, I don't know where to put it. That's enough. Okay, guys, I'm over this card now. I've got one heck of a mess to clean up. Everything's covered in red ink. I'm going to put the lid on these before I knock those over. I've had those for donkey's years. Just going to clean my hands, and let's talk about the instructions. There is the envelope. There is the card. Here are the instructions. I hope I haven't like made them so hard. I did try to make them easy. I'm sorry we've gone 51 minutes, guys, but request those. If you're part of my email newsletter, you will get that when I post that. If you have any questions or you'd like that, tilly2145@gmail.com. If you'd like to be added to the newsletter list, same address. If you'd like to purchase anything, jilllancet.stampinup.net. Guys, I've had a shocker, but you know what I say? Be kind. Be kind, leave me a like anyway. You know I'm crazy. And I did say anything could happen, and it usually does. So, yeah, let's have a nice Valentine's Day. If you're into sending those out, hopefully they will realise that they can open those. And, yeah, let me know what you think. Red and white, always classic. Stay safe, be kind. Hooray. Bye for now.